If you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
I don't give a damn about what you saying, bitch, you in the way. Closed case, my nigga beat the charges like yesterday. In your face, I'ma go hard and make sure you see the cake. Keep the pace, ain't no one fucking with me, that's not a race. Doing the shit that I want, I'm never gonna stop, I'm never gonna give in. Making my way to the top, I told you to ride, I told you to get in. Now you can't eat out my pot, it's filled to the top, and I'm about to dig in. You say I was doing...
Hey guys, what's up? Roger here. All right, so there's not going to be a podcast this week. So this is a pre-recording. A good friend of mine and my employee that works at one of my business had a relative pass away, and the funeral is today. So I'm pre-recording this. That way I can leave you guys with something. I didn't want to leave you hanging. Now, I'm not going to bring you much in the way of content right now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to introduce you to a video that I watched recently. And I was so impressed by this video that I felt obligated to share it with you. I really think it's an amazing video. Now, I'm not going to share it with you in its full context here, but what I'm going to do is play a few minutes of it for you. And then I'm going to provide you with a link to go to his profile so you can watch it in its entirety on YouTube. Unfortunately, with you, those of you on the podcast platforms, I will put the link in the description. I'm not sure you'll be able to click it. I'm not sure exactly how that works. We've never done this before, so this is a new thing for me. But if you're watching on Facebook, on the Facebook page, or you're watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description. You'll be able to jump over. And we'll kind of get that started right now, and then we'll discuss a little bit after we get it rolling. So let me bring this video up. And again, this guy is apparently he's a chicken breeder. He's not a dog breeder per se, but breeding is breeding, rest assured. And he has a program. It's a subscription-based program, and that I'm able to surmise from this video is A, it is apparently not super cheap, and B, right now it's closed, so they're not accepting any new members yet. But I did hear them discuss that he was working on a dog specific version, which I think is pretty good. And I just want to give a shout out to NWA Connie Corsos for having this guest on. This is some amazing information, and so let's just get that fired up. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll go from there.
We do it chickens too. And it was big. It was a bigger problem before I started teaching. Now I've got a lot of people trusting in my program and getting away from the outcrossing, getting away from adding new blood, understanding that that's only messing things up.
Right.
You know,
so basically what I want to summarize, and you just tell me if I'm wrong or right, that the hybrid vigor we get crossing can be done with a family of dogs by selection and culling, right?
Well, okay.
Straighten me out.
Yes and no. Okay. Now, Joe, think about it. And don't say what it is. If you think about the Founders Program, the way it's set up. At stage 6, it resembles outcrossing in many ways.
Yeah.
That's how you could get the hybrid vigor you're looking for without destroying the family and recombinating the genes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's another way. There's a much better way. When the dog breeders I've been getting lately are getting in there, and I'm having coaching calls with them, and they're checking out the Founders Program, and they see, especially stage 5 and 6, they're like, "Oh my God, why didn't I think of that?" It like makes sense. Why have I been doing this other way? This idea of outcrossing and bringing in new blood all the time, refreshing the blood, because they're afraid of inbreeding and reaching the, they're always worried about the COI, the coefficient of inbreeding. I mean, if you inbreed all the time, that would be an issue. Okay. And when you get a high COI, or you feel like you are, then you can do what we teach in the Founders Program, and you fix it all without bringing outside blood in. So, and so I want to reiterate that don't be afraid of inbreeding. Don't be afraid of culls. Yeah, you might have to spay and neuter some. You may have to home some of them as pets.
Now you can tell right there, those concepts are concepts that a lot of people in our community believe in, but it's not something we discuss necessarily. These are concepts that aren't discussed in this community. And I may get messages, people yelling at me, hey, tell all these people this stuff. But I doubt it. But no, these are real breeding concepts. And I don't want you to think that, did something wrong. There we go. I don't want you to think this is necessarily anything new or it's chicken specific. This is actually a way certain dog breeders breed, you know, and he jumps into some pretty in-depth concepts. I'm going to jump forward just a little bit, but this is the first time I've ever personally seen these concepts being handed down from person to person, or you'll see this level of inbreeding or line breeding, and sometimes can be criticized a little bit in our community, right? Yeah. Oh, well, you know, this guy just does a bunch of inbreeding and he's got effed up dogs. He's got part of the concept is the problem. He's got the concept of inbreeding and compounding traits, but unfortunately there's a section of that he's also missing. And that's why he produces a lot of messed up dogs. So let's jump back into it for just a couple more minutes, like I said, and then I'll kind of give you a shout out one more time and I'll drop that link in the comments. I appreciate you guys, but let's roll a couple more minutes. We'll fast forward a little bit.
We'll be able to move forward.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes, she becomes really, really important. And understand too, that here's the other thing too, why I wouldn't base all my, I wouldn't base one male. How do I say this?
This is going to be good.
One male shouldn't represent the whole family is what we were talking about before, which would be the fact that a lot of the traits that we are looking for in our dogs, a lot of people think it's dominant recessive. It's actually not. It's the polygenic traits we're looking for. So as long as if we're not selecting for that and we're not improving it by selecting for the highest intensity, we're not doing that with multiple.
And if you're hearing that, there's a massive thunderstorm coming through right now. So my mic might be picking it up. It's not on their end. It's on mine.
Dogs. And that family is all based on one dog. You can go in the wrong direction really fast and not make the progress you think you're going to make. See, a lot of people don't understand how important polygenics are, and they think everything is dominant recessive. Very few things, not as much as you think are dominant recessive. And a lot of the things that they base on dominant recessive are the dominant recessive traits that are on the sex chromosome, which are even fewer than the ones that are autosomes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We need to put more attention on the polygenics, the polygenic traits that the dog carries. By selecting to the highest intensity, we're going to improve them a lot faster. You know, the only way those dominant, if it's a dominant trait, if they have it, it's expressed. The only thing we don't know is whether it's pure or not. If they're expressing a recessive trait, we know it's pure. So once you get them started, the monogenic traits take care of themselves. You know, as long.
All right, so that's probably enough there. Like I said, I'm going to throw this video in the comments. Please go check it out. Give NWA Connie Corsos a shout out in the comments. Let them know that the Go Rogue podcast sent you there to check out this video, because I think it is valuable. I think there are concepts in there that there are people in our community, don't agree with. You know, they'll fight you tooth and nail on. I think B, there are some people that have some of these concepts, but they're still failing to execute it fully. And I think it's great. This video is a great benefit to our community as a whole. So like I said, this will be going live on tomorrow, the 17th, Wednesday, but there is no podcast for this week. The previous podcast I had scheduled, Choosing Your Keepers, we actually got rescheduled to the week after. So next week, from you seeing this video next week, will be that show. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.